Hello and welcome back to Hayjive Picks. I'm your host, editor, producer, and founder, Hayden Iverson. Today we're going to be breaking down the recap of UFC Vegas 59 Fight Night, Santos versus Hill. A pretty exciting one, 10 fights, 10 finishes. Two of the fights on the card got scrapped between Jason Witt and Josh Quinlan, and then Ariane Lipski and Priscilla Cachoeira. Not sure what happened with the Lipski fight, but I do know that the Josh Quinlan Jason Witt fight, Josh Quinlan had some interesting drug tests come back, which is not his first time, so that one got scrapped. But not missing out too much on those fights, so we will get right into it. I went 7-3-2 on the card, 7 wins, 3 losses, and then the 2 fights that didn't happen. Not a terrible day. A couple bad bounces, one bad bounce, I guess, and then just two fights that did not go our way, and didn't feel too bad about it because the circumstances were not that high. But as a betting perspective, we lost a little over 1 unit, mainly because we had a lot invested into Vicente Luque, and Vicente Luque laid an absolute dud. But most of the picks around, other than Luque, did cash, so I feel pretty good about that. We'll start with the main event, breaking it down. This one I had the over 2.5 for a unit, and then I had fight to go the distance, very, very sprinkle, about a quarter of a unit. And I had Jamal Hill in many, many parlays. I was big on Jamal Hill the entire week. Came out, I thought it was going to take them a little bit to feel each other out, which it did, which I was correct on. Went into a round 4, and ultimately Jamal Hill got the job done. But for the most part, this was a pretty good scrap. It seemed like Jamal Hill kind of lured Thiago into making it like a brawl, basically. Santos' corner was yelling at him in between rounds, like telling him to not make this a bar fight, that it's not a bar fight, need to be more technical. But every time Jamal Hill would land something on him, Santos would want it back. And he threw back. Santos landed some heavy shots on Jamal Hill, and Jamal did not even flinch. Like, Thiago Santos is a big dude, 6'2", probably fights around 240, 245, somewhere around there. They weigh in at 205 light heavyweight, but probably fights around 240. And dang, dude, Jamal Hill's he's got a chin. It might be just because he's young and hasn't taken too many cracks, but there was one where Thiago came, he kind of ducked to the right, and then came out just full force with his right on the cheek of Jamal Hill, and he just took it. Big props to Jamal Hill, man. He was busted up too. He was getting, Santos was trying to control him on the cage, kind of slow down the striking. But for Jamal Hill to battle through that and ultimately get the round 4 TKO, very impressive. This guy's got a bright future, and he has no lack of confidence. He's got the mind for it. He's got the skills for it. Very excited to see what he does in the future. As for Thiago Santos, not a bad performance. He looked pretty good in the striking department. May have gassed himself out trying to wrestle, and not doing too much with it, but just exerting himself in a way that he's not necessarily used to. He doesn't push the wrestling like that in his previous fights, but definitely could have gassed himself out there. But in the future, he's always going to be game for a fight. This one much more exciting than his past few, but definitely going to be out of the sport pretty soon at 38 years old. Co-main event, Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal. This one was very, very hard to watch considering I had a lot invested in Vicente Luque, and he came out. He looked bad. He looked really bad. He looked slow. He looked sluggish. And I don't know if that's just because Jeff Neal looked like he was on another level last night, but Luque, he gets hit with shots and he just covers up like this, and you're wearing 4-ounce gloves, and Jeff Neal's just kind of teeing off, and even if you're not feeling those shots that hard, it doesn't look good to the judges, for one, and two, it gives Jeff Neal all the confidence he needs, and to just cover up, and then, you got to get out of the way. You got to get out of the way. Move your feet, get lateral, do something instead of just cover up. It looks really bad, and it looked like Luque was just a step behind the entire night. First round gets damn near dropped. Props to him though. I mean, he's got a great chin. He got popped many, many times in this fight. Surprised he made it to the third round, but round one he gets popped. Jeff Neal had the straight left down the pipe all night. Like, I don't know. Luque was not moving his head off the center line at all. And it was basically to the point where I'm like, Luque, just wrestle him. Like, just try to take him to the ground because you're not standing with him. It's just not working, bud. But he stayed on the feet. Round two comes around. He's kind of battling himself back into it. Jeff Neal definitely takes the first round. Round two could go either way, but I mean, I might be a little biased, but probably a Luque round. So it's probably 1-1 going into round three. And Jeff Neal just turns it up again and ultimately gets the TKO. Well, KO, last TKO, because he hit him with some shots, man. Credit to Luque, man. He's a warrior. But he did not look good last night. And Jeff Neal looked very good. That straight left down the pipe. Luque had no answers for it. I don't know how many times you have to get hit with a power left to, try to get out of the way of it. But sucks because we had a lot invested in Luque. We had a straight play on him. We had him by sub. Just a sprinkle on that one. And then we had him in 4 of our parlays, and out of the 5 parlays, he was in 4 of them, and the one that we cashed, he wasn't in. So that's tough, but you live and you learn. Maybe not have too much invested into one fighter. We'll learn next time. Next fight, Muhammad Uzman and Zach Paga, the heavyweight tough finale. This one was a surprise. A little bit because Zach Paga was a pretty heavy favorite. I think he was like minus 250 or something around there, 260, 270. A lot of people were shitting on Uzman for not being good. I mean, like following in the footsteps of Kamaru's his older brother, Kamaru Uzman, pound for pound, number 1. And he fights with a chip on his shoulder. I'll give him that. Zach Paga is definitely the more like crisp striker, more well-rounded MMA fighter. But Uzman just caught him, man. He caught him. First round, Zach Paga having a good round, probably wins the round. Uzman, flying, looping hooks, looping punches. Doesn't look the best, but he's swinging hard. And Uzman is not a guy that I would want to take a punch from. So it had me puckering a little bit. because I picked Zach Paga. And whenever you see Uzman just unload a hard punch, if it connects, it's not going to end well. And that's exactly what happened in round 2. He gets him with a left jab, not really a jab, but like a short left hook that had a ton of power on it. It doesn't really look like it, but if you watch just the torque he has, because he steps back and then he torques all the way around with his left and catches him right on the chin. Really a beautiful punch, and sent Zach Paga to the ground, and he was out for a while. But credit to Muhammad Uzman, man. Came out to fight, won as the dog on a card with 10 fights, and you're looking at what underdogs would come through. As you're probably not gonna get 10 favorites to win in the UFC MMA. So you probably look at what underdogs could come through, and as a heavyweight, it's a good chance that the underdog heavyweight would come through. So pretty, if you picked Uzman at plus 220, I think it was, props to you, because that is a nice cash right there. The women's flyweight Ultimate Fighter finale, Brogan Walker, Juliana Miller. I picked Brogan Walker on my predictions video, and then I do all the fights on the card parlayed together, and then I'll just throw a little sprinkle on that. Just I've hit one before, so it's like if you just throw a little sprinkle on it, it's fun to do. And instead of putting Walker, I put Juliana Miller on it. So when this fight happened, I was cheering for Juliana Miller, but I did pick Brogan Walker in my official picks video. So there is that. But turns out Juliana Miller was definitely the play. She was definitely the play. Probably the biggest value on the card, I would say. I guess maybe Jeff Neal. But Juliana Miller comes to scrap every fucking fight. Just an absolute junkyard dog. Gonna be in your face. Gonna throw nasty stuff at you. Doesn't give a fuck. And really good trips. Like good wrestling. Got the fight to the ground when she wanted to. 4 for 4 on her takedowns. 9 minutes and 40 seconds of control time. So, props to her. She really came out and dominated. Brogan Walker could not get out from the bottom when she got taken down. And she didn't get submitted, but she was getting beat up. She was getting beat up on the bottom. And ultimately in round 3, with about a minute left, the ref stops it. And then guess there was some bad blood because Juliana Miller gives her one of those, and then shoves her face down, which was pretty funny. But and then when they raise her hand, she goes over and shakes Brogan Walker's hand, and then in the interview after, she's talking shit about her again, which is funny. So I guess there was beef before the fight. There was beef right at the end of the fight. No beef when they announced the official decision, the KO decision. Juliana Miller wins. Then they're friends, and then when Brogan Walker's gone, Juliana Miller talking shit again. So there you go. There's some MMA drama right there for you. But looking forward to seeing Juliana Miller fight again, because she scraps and she's gonna get nasty. She's gonna get nasty with it. Gotta love that. That's fighter or fans want to see fighters like that. So excited to see her. Heavyweight fight, Augusto Sakai, Sergey Spivak. This one went pretty much exactly like I thought. Again, I thought Spivak would dominate. Augusto Sakai, pretty shitty takedown defense. Sergey Spivak, good entries. And absolutely showed it in this one. 6 of 8 on his takedowns, 6 minutes and 30 seconds of control time. Really just had Sakai on his heels, on his back, on his butt, on his knees, everywhere that he did not want to be, and wore him out. Spivak showed some good cardio. You know, you're going to push that pace, that wrestling pace, as a heavyweight. That was impressive, very impressive. This guy, even his striking, when they were on the feet, he was landing some great jabs. You know, Sakai, 4 straight KO losses now. Not looking good for him in the UFC, but things are looking good for Sergey Spivak. I'd like to see him get a top 15, top 10 opponent next. So excited to see him fight again. A fighter that I would be looking to back, just because he has more paths to victory with the wrestling, the grappling. His grappling looked really good too. Really good transitions. Because Sakai will get taken down, but he'll get up. You know, he can get out. He can get out of it. He can get up. But Sergey Spivak with some great transitions. Every time Sakai got up, it was like he was just taking him right back down. So props to Sergey Spivak. He cashed me the inside the distance play for 1.5 units, and then I had him and Jamal Hill parlay together for 2 units, cashed that, and then I also had him in one with Jamal Hill, Vicente, Luque, and then Sergey Spivak, and Luque fucked that one up. So Luque used to be my boy, bro, but god damn, that was a terrible performance, bro. Fuck. Moving on, though. Terence McKinney, Eric Gonzalez. This one, you know, McKinney, big favorite. Gets the job done in the first round, like he always does. There's gonna be a fight where it gets out of the first round, maybe even to the third round, and we're gonna really find out what Terence McKinney has in the tank, because I want to see that. I want to see if he can get through 2 rounds, maybe even a full 3 rounds at the pace that he pushes. Like, maybe he can. Probably he can. Probability says he can't, but maybe he can. Maybe he's just that conditioned. But comes out like a bat out of hell, like always. Lands some hard strikes. I mean, he looked crisp on the feet. He looked really crisp. And, you know, finding the openings when they weren't the easiest to find against Eric Gonzalez. And then Eric Gonzalez comes back and cracks him on the chin. And then I'm looking like, here we go, you know, minus 900 favorite, or minus 1,000. I don't even remember what it was, but it was big. Big ass favorite. Gonna blow it here. I didn't have anything invested in him, but I was a little skeptical because of the way he fights. You know, as a minus 900, minus 1,000 favorite that fights like the way Terence McKinney does, I'm not going to want to, you know, put myself in a position where he's throwing crazy strikes, leaving himself open to counters like he did against Eric Gonzalez. He gets cracked with one. Yes, he doesn't, you know, get knocked out. He wins the fight. But that's just something that I would not want to put myself through. I don't even think it's worth touching like minus 600, minus 700 favorites like that, because it's MMA. It's, you know, everybody has a puncher's chance. And in this case, Eric Gonzalez cracks him with one, but then McKinney gets his whereabouts back to him pretty quickly, takes the back from the standing position, throws the arm up. Really a really slick back take from the feet, and ultimately gets the rear naked choke and the win. So shout out to Terence McKinney. If I remember correctly, I think he called out Paddy Pimblett. He wanted to fight Paddy Pimblett in December, which would be quite the fight. That would be, Patty's kind of a slow starter, and Terence McKinney, fast fucking starter. So that would be interesting to watch. I would love to see that fight. I don't think Patty would do that though, just with how dangerous Terence McKinney is. But I don't even think the UFC would want that, because these are two really good fighters that they probably want to build. They don't want to lose any steam on them at this point in their careers. So I doubt it happens, but if it does, that'd be sick. All right, Smiling Sam Alvey and Michal Olashechek. Apologize, Michal, because I was calling you Michael, I'm pretty sure, in my other video, but Michal is how you say it. Both fighters coming down to middleweight. They used to fight at light heavyweight, so a 20-pound difference. And I follow Sam Alvey on Instagram, and he said he was like 220 Saturday morning, which is just nuts. 35 pounds, well, 34 because he weighed in at 186, but 34 pounds gained in a day, in less than 24 hours. That's pretty nuts. But since they moved down in that weight, you got to figure their chins are probably a little compromised. And safe to say, Sam Alvey should not be taking punches anymore, because he got cracked. This one didn't last very long. Probably longer than it should have, because Sam Alvey gets cracked, and then he's basically just scrambling the entire time. He'll throw something back, but Sam Alvey, bro, just retire. Like, you got a good life to live. You got kids. You probably should be around a little bit. I don't want to see you take any more damage than you have. But shout out to Sam Alvey, man. What is that? 41, 51, 52 pro fights. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to Michal Olashechek as well. Good performance. He looked really good. Looked crisp. But overall, this fight was just over before it started, pretty much. Moving on, Brian Battle, Takashi Sato in welterweight. So Brian Battle coming down from middleweight. He looked pretty good. He looked, physically he looked slimmer, obviously. But this one was pretty much over before it started as well. Brian Battle, minus 300 favorite. I didn't feel too good about it because he's coming down in weight, and he's only fought people off the Ultimate Fighter. And Takashi Sato, not that I have too much confidence in him, but he's got a pretty good puncher's chance. He's got a pretty good striking, and Brian Battle exposed that, because Takashi Sato loves to throw the left hand down the pipe, and when he does, leaves himself open to that head kick, and Brian Battle exposed the shit out of that. Cold cock Takashi Sato to the canvas, and sent him to sleep for quite a while. Shout out to Brian Battle, because nobody was expecting that. And honestly, I don't remember the last time there was a card where every fight was a finish, because, it was only 10 fights, but that's pretty impressive. Very impressive. Brian Battle, not really a knockout finisher, but gets the knockout kick here. Very, very pretty kick. Very pretty kick. Very satisfying KO. Shout out to Brian Battle. Takashi Sato probably won't be around too much longer, because he's now, 2-3 in the UFC, or 2-4. Moving on, women's strawweight, Corey McKenna and Miranda Granger. I had a very, very, very tiny sprinkle, about a quarter of a unit on Granger by sub, because she gets taken down at will. She has terrible, terrible takedown defense, which showed in this fight. Saw it in the film. She's pretty content to be on her back. She's got long limbs. I figured, this fight's probably going to hit the mat because she's got a 10-inch reach advantage over Corey McKenna. Corey McKenna, pretty good wrestler, so she's probably going to want to push the wrestling. Miranda Granger can't handle a takedown, so she's going to get taken down. So she's going to be on the mat. And she's probably going to have some opportunities to, throw up an armbar, throw up a triangle, anything like that. So at plus 900, I'll throw a little sprinkle on it. And that's exactly what happened. Corey McKenna gets her on the ground, 4 minutes and 40 seconds of control time, 3 or 4 on her takedowns, pretty much at will. Almost has her in her arm triangle at the end of the first round. And she gets saved by the bell, does Miranda Granger. Second round, Corey McKenna just pushes takedown again, gets her down, and gets her with the Von Flue choke. That's the first one ever in the UFC. Shout out Corey McKenna. She looked really good, and not just because she got the finish, but she played to her strengths. She played to her strengths in her last fight. She did not, and that was the reason why I wasn't very confident backing her this week, even though it was Miranda Granger. But it's hard to back a fighter that has has shown low fight IQ, and that's what she did in the last fight. So I didn't feel good about her this week, but at I think she was like minus 220 or something, 210. But gets the job done there. Shout out to Corey McKenna, good performance. And then the first fight of the night, but the last fight that I'll be covering here, Myra, Bueno, Silva, and Stephanie Edgar. I had the 1.5 unit shot on Bueno Silva, and this one was over very quick. Stephanie Edgar going for the takedown early, the judo hip throw. They land on the ground, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, I don't mind it being here. I don't mind it being here because I know Bueno Silva has really good jiu-jitsu. She's got a number of submissions on her record, and Stephanie Edgar also pretty good grappling as well, but more so she's more so good at the judo throws and just getting people on the ground. And once they're on the ground, going for ground and pound, not necessarily seeking out these big submissions. So they're on the ground, and this one ends weird. Bueno Silva clearly has her arm and could do some serious damage. Let's go. The ref doesn't know what's happening because she just kind of let go, and she's like, yo, she tapped. And the tap arm that she's going to be tapping with is on the blind side of the camera, and you can't see it. So a little confusion there, but ultimately one of the judges says that he 100% saw her tap. So we'll cash our ticket, and we'll feel good about it. But a little weird ending. Bueno Silva was pretty upset that, I don't know, maybe people didn't think that she tapped, and maybe were like thinking she was lying about it. But she gets the win nonetheless. Get your win money there. Feel good about that. So overall, quite the night. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 KOs and 3 subs. Exciting night. Didn't make it to a third round until the Brogan Walker Juliana Miller fight, which was the 4th last fight of the night. Very exciting. I'm a little disappointed in my boy Vicente Luque. Probably not going to be my boy anymore. I'm sorry, man. But after that performance, can't have much confidence in you because you got picked apart. I'm sure you know that, but I expected more from you. We will come back this week. Not too much harm done. this week we got Dominic Cruz and Marlon Chito Vera. Very excited for this one. This one is going to be a big move in the bantamweight division. So excited about that one. Always love watching Chito fight. And then got some pretty decent prelims and just other fights on the card as well. But overall, pretty good day. But obviously not in the money department, down 1 unit. But feel good about it. Feel good moving forward. And we will be back with a predictions video very soon. So please stay tuned to that. Go follow me on TikTok at Hayjive Picks. I'll be posting usually once or twice a day on there. Picks, other content, all that good stuff. Some really good content on there. So go check that out. Please leave a like. Please leave a subscription. Leave a comment. Tell me I'm trash. Do whatever. I don't really care. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Goodbye, and we'll see you next time.